How can a national team full of quality players still fail to qualify their country for the FIFA World Cup? How does Jamaica, with Premier League talent and the deepest squad that I've seen in years, finish behind Curacao and Trinidad and eventually miss the automatic qualification for the 2026 World Cup? Today, I'll be breaking down with you the real reasons why an international team filled with good quality players like Jamaica continues to underperform, even with big name players. Let's get into it.
Jamaica have a lifeline. How about this?
Big up Gunnaz. I hear that. Don't know something that Gunnaz myself, but big up Gunnaz.
Hello and welcome back to the Gunnaz podcast. I'm your host, Dicanio, an Arsenal fan who covers everything Reggae Boyz and local football. If you enjoy the content that I do on this channel, remember to hit that like button. Every single video I do on this channel should get to 200 likes. So just go ahead and hit the like button. It's a very free way to support the channel. Also, another free way to support the channel is by hitting that subscribe button, as we're on a goal to 6,000 subscribers before the end of this year. So just go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I'm going to head right into it, people. There are many different reasons as to why Jamaica has so many quality players, but yet still we continue to fail on the international stage. And in this video, I'm going to go through a lot of them. So I want you guys to share your thoughts, comments, and concerns below in the comment section while I go through all of these reasons. And people, this is my specific list. And it's going to be a list of about 8 or 10 things. And I don't want you guys to just look at all of these 8 and 10 things individually, right? I want you to look at them individually and then look at them collectively, because all of these combined is the reason why we are failing as an international team. If we did have 9 out of 10 of these things, I believe we would have qualified. If we did have 8 out of 10, 7 out of 10, even 6 out of 10, we would have been able to qualify. But when all of these things come together in a one and compile, this is the reason why we have not qualified automatically for the FIFA 2026 World Cup, right? And the first thing is that the team lacks real chemistry and identity. International football is not club football. If players do not understand each other's movements, timing, and habits, the team plays disjointed and chaotic. Now, that is the reason why it is so challenging, because international coaches do not have these players week in, week out. So they have to find creative ways to make sure that when they have them, they make it count. A national team needs a clear footballing identity, one that when these players come, they know exactly what is required of them. No if, nor buts, nor maybes, how we'll approach these games. No, this is our clear identity. This is how we want to play in every game. No matter who we are playing, this is our identity, right? It also needs repetition. So you can't chop and change style of play. You can't chop and change identity in a different game. No, focus on your identity and play this way no matter who you play, no matter what the result. This is the way that you want to play. Chemistry. It comes into play. You have a clear identity, and you have repetition. That is going to give you chemistry, and with good chemistry, you win football matches. You're not going to see no bag of long ball. You're going to play a ball and you're going to have vibes. You see me? An example of this, man, first thing with the team lacking chemistry and identity. It's just the fact that Jamaica brings in a lot of high quality UK born players, but they barely played, let's say, 2 handful of matches together. There's no natural rhythm, there's no link up, and especially in midfield and the back line, there's no continuity. So that's my first point. My second point is poor coaching and tactical unpreparedness. Now, this comes into play with Steve McLaren. You know, I know my thoughts about Steve McLaren, how tactical inept he was, how much of a failure he was, how I just want, if I see him now, I'm butting it, right? I don't rate this man. And number 2 is completely down to him. I'm purposefully listing my number 2. You see me? Because an international team will fail because tactics or talent, I should say, doesn't matter if the tactics are wrong. Unless you have a world-class player on your team will keep on bailing out, like Arsenal or Aubameyang used to have to bail out Arsenal every minute, or if a team is not playing well, a star baller go bail them out. Like how Inter Miami was a relegation threatened team. Well, not relegation, but a bottom of the table team. And Messi come in and make them league winners. Quality, world-class players can do that to an average team. Jamaica doesn't have world-class players, but Jamaica has very good players individually in positions, right? And the talent that we have under proper coaching and proper conditions should mean that we win a lot of football matches, right? But a team is going to fail if the formation does not fit the players. If you do not select the right players and the right balance, we've consistently seen Steve McLaren select few midfielders, be a defenders, be a forward. Him select a side with 4 strikers. We have 4 strikers to play 2 games. You need at least 2 strikers, your main 2, and you must have a winger we can, if 2 of them injured, can deputize. And also, Concacaf allow you if a man injured for calling the next man to replace him. So there's no reason for you to bring 4 strikers from the get-go in a squad when you are so light in midfield. Now, Steve McLaren, he make the wrong selections, he pick the wrong squads, formation doesn't fit the players. He's not a coach that is able to adapt and adjust in game. And that was proven in the Curaçao match because he had a plan for the Curaçao match. But what he did not factor in his plan was being spontaneous, looking at the game and judging the game for what it is and not what you thought it was going to be, and actually make decisions based on what this game was. He didn't do that. He had a plan before the game, what he's going to do at the 45-minute mark if we're still 0-0, what he's going to do at the 60-minute mark if we're still 0-0, what he's going to do at the 75-minute mark if we're still 0-0, what he's going to do in the last 10 minutes of the game if we're still 0-0, and he executed that perfectly. He executing plan perfectly and we never qualify. But if he was a coach that looked at the situation, see exactly what was happening in the game, see if us can't do jack shit in that game, right? However, you had a player on the bench that terrorized Curaçao in the first match in Tyrese Campbell. Why not put him on? Why Cephas play 90 minutes? All right, you want Cephas to stay on the pitch in the final game because he's a X factor. Why not make him switch the wing? Make him switch the wing and try something different, try a different dynamic. No. Right? He not do that. These are the things that if we are trying to do well as a national team, you go up against quality coaches and quality teams, you need a quality coach. You do not need a failure. And we hired a failure, right? A failure where roles in the national team are not clearly defined. The plan changes from match to match. In going to a game, happy for a draw against Trinidad, a derby match in a World Cup qualifier, right? People, yeah. A clear example of that is that Curaçao executed a simple, disciplined plan throughout their entire qualifier campaign. We had better individual players, but a weak tactical structure, and that comes directly down to coaching, right? Now, the third thing that I want to talk about, people, is the fact that we had no consistent starting 11. Constant rotation kills a national team. You see, if it's a national team where they're on the top of them level like Argentina, world champions, yeah, you can rotate there because then the system is so ingrained. Everybody know what they're supposed to go up on the field and do. Everybody knows, say, yo, this position is up for grabs. So if a player injured, right, and you know, say that player have the starting position and you come replace him, you know, say you have to perform, you know, say you have to give you 100 if you want to play, right? There's no consistent starting lineup. Every time Jamaica plays a different striker, just a chop and a change. I must say that's why I'm bringing 4 striker. And it makes no sense. Without a steady lineup, communication breaks down. Football is such a game of fine details in 2025 that if 2 players are so in sync and you take out one of them and put in a player that is out of sync, that alone can cost you the game. That's one of the main reasons why when teams sign big players sometimes, not world-class players, but big players sometimes, you don't see them big players, they just start right away in the team. Those big players have time for bed into the team, build relationship, and them thing. Because you can't just bring a man from here, so bring come here and feel like say the communication and the chemistry are going to be the same. If you keep on a chop and a change, partnerships don't develop. Players will lose confidence because they might pass the ball to a player in a certain way where is a next player prefer it for pass away there, but the player not prefer the ball for pass away there. A man are going to lose him confidence. We talk about Roman Burrell, who scored 20 goals so far in club football in 2025. And him can't replicate that for the national team. He looks a completely different guy. Why? He don't have enough time. Him just come. Right? You look at a man like Damari Gray, we have ball for Birmingham. Him come here, son. Him look a shadow of himself. You look at a man like Bobby Reid, again, a score goals for Leicester, important goals. But yet still, him come, him play for Jamaica. There are so many things off the field and on the field that can affect a player. So when him get him chance, him not as composed. It's rushed. Zine, these are the fine margins. I will look on it and will say, all right, why them players here can do it for them club and them can't do it for them country? There are many underlying things. A man who can well comfortable in club. A man can enter the right environment. How many players have you seen flop at one club, go to another club, completely different environment, and then perform? It's similar in that case for club football, for country football. You need that continuity in the starting lineup. You need the players to have a system where they know they're going to play, and they know the roles, they know the players. If you don't have that, communication breaks down, partnerships will never develop, and players will lose confidence. A prime example, Jamaica rarely finds the same back four and the same midfield in consecutive games. Always, even attack line, always new combinations every single match, which cause repeated defensive errors. The next thing what we all know about is administrative and structural problems. A team cannot succeed when the federation is messy. In the past, there have been issues like flights, poorly organized camps, contract disputes, lack of proper preparation. All of those things can affect performances on a football pitch. Right? My next thing is weak preparation for matches. Zine, and we're not going to go too deep into that, but I think generally this is what some of the players have to take it upon themselves. You're out a party the night before training. Jesus Christ, is a World Cup on the line. You watch and you listen to Cristiano Ronaldo and listen to the habits that them train themselves and them do to become the best. And you tell me, say you can't adopt them habits there for just 3-4 months. 3-4 months, you can't adopt them habits there for no say, all right, it's a World Cup. This you have the chance for go. The biggest stage on football or in football, you have the chance to go there. So, and you can't prepare yourself mentally and physically to be prepared 100% for that task. The next thing we have to talk about is over-reliance on overseas stars. Bringing in quality from England and Europe is good, but relying on them to magically fix everything is not a strategy. It's like kick and run football, which is how we play. Kick and run football, well, it can be strategized, but how Jamaica play it, and a strategy. Because a literal kick and run football, it's not long ball. Because when you play long ball, you know, say, all right, you loft the ball up to a main man, him challenge for the defender them. However, you have only midfielders who are run come for the second ball. And that is where we are comfortable in the attacking third. We are creative players who might not have the best players to like build up on the ground from the back, but we have creative players in the final third. So all we do is we loft the ball up, not fast in our ear and flat. We loft the ball up on the center back them, so they have to make a decision to play against one big striker. Either one of them can book the ball down, but we have wingers, midfielders, are run off the ball to pick up the second ball and create those type of football chances. That is a strategy, you know. But Jamaica don't play that. Jamaica just kick away the ball, whoop up top, kick the ball along diagonal, kick. That is not strategy. What is a long ball from Richard King to Cephas going to do? Cephas can't jump and buck ball. That is on the wing. So if it's not pinpoint and it's not perfect, which most of the time it's not going to be, if it's not orchestrated the right way, how is that going to help the team? Zine? Our long ball then is kick for balls are run instead of kick for balls are collect and play off. Because Curacao did play long ball, you know. But you rarely see Curacao play a long ball and then forward after you run it down. When they play a long ball, it go right on Pinnock head. And the next striker head where him and Pinnock after you fight for the ball. Fight for the ball. And then what happened? Them lose the duel or Pinnock win the duel, but him not get enough on it. And guess what? Curacao midfielder them that just come and collect and just a drive at the back line. The forward, Pinnock out of the game, that left Richard King in a big piece of space. The wingers them take that space, and the midfielders then pass the ball through that space. That is what you call strategy. Jamaica football and this long ball thing, not a strategy. Jamaican often depends on Premier League players to carry the entire team. But without chemistry and a proper system, that talent is going to get neutralized. The next thing, mental fragility in must-win moments. How much time now? From even Algrim's days, we see Jamaica a lead a game conceding at the last minute. From top of days too, conceding at the last minutes of the game. Right? Pressure breaks weak structures, and Jamaica has always had a weak footballing structure. And signs of weak footballing mentality, you panic after you concede goal, you make reckless challenges, you overreact to officials and them decisions, you lose focus late in the games. You get red cards, you have disciplinary issues. Look at that game against Curacao, what we need for win. Jonathan Russell Mabala, but he get a red card in the last one. We could have get one more chance out of the game. Boza after the match. You're a professional footballer, you know, say you need to win this game, but if you don't win it, have a next chance. You run gone, but I know you're going to miss the first game against New Caledonia due to a red card. Zine, these are the things when that structure is weak. Yeah, you start off all merry and you start off all fine. But when pressure start get added to that weak structure, it eventually will break. It start off looking good, but the structure is weak. You continue to pile on pressure, it will go weak. That is where you need leaders. Jamaica ever dominate matches or get points or play good football or dominate a match or lead a game, but you drop points due to late defensive lapses or emotional reactions, moments that require composure. We don't have that. My next point is we are going up against opponents, and this is similar to the point we'll make about Steve McLaren. We are going up against opponents who are better coached. And you can see it out of your own eye, rather. You go in a national stadium, you watch and you can see it. Sometimes it's not your team that is terrible. It's just simply that the other team is well drilled. For example, Curacao never have bigger names than Jamaica, but they had discipline, they had a shape, they had compactness, they had a clear identity, and that alone was enough to finish ahead of Jamaica. We talk about the discipline problems. Players against players. Every camp you hear said there's something in the camp. Possibly a player want for them friend to get selected and the next man gets selected and is a friend team. Ego clashes. Fitness issues. Red cards. Going out for party late at night. Poor training habits. People. Another thing that it can be safe in your next video, we have a weak youth system. We have a weak youth system. If the youth pipeline is broken, the senior team has no long-term stability. We're under 17s, we're under 20s. We've struggled because of development. It is not consistent. That affects depth and it affects future chemistry for the senior team. You know, like how every club or every country have them youth team, we're full of beer baller. And every other country have them big man team, we're full of beer baller too. And you look on some of them youth team there and say, boom, dog. And them man are playing a youth team. Last year, Ryan Shirky, with the Manchester City, now they are playing at France under 21s. Guendouzi at one point, they're playing at under 21s. All of those players from those national teams, or majority of them, played under 21 football. But here in Jamaica, we have this thing that we need for rush young players put in a national team because they need to get contracts for go elsewhere. See, when at other clubs or other countries, them players they just have to continue playing at under 21. Omar Hutchinson under 21, Morgan Rogers from Aston Villa did have to under 21 Wadi until him get him spot. Zine, we not on a youth development here, bro. And expect unrealistic expectations. I can be blamed for that as well as many other fans. We see big names and assume that it means automatic success. But football doesn't work off potential. It works off execution. Example, seeing a Premier League or a Championship player doesn't mean or it makes people assume that Jamaica should dominate in Concacaf. But without foundation, talent alone cannot deliver. Zine? Now, as I mentioned earlier in the video, a lot of these players are performing better for their clubs and for their country. And the question is, why does it happen? We see Roman Burla score week in, week out. We see Demar Gray score and assist week in, week out. We see Bobby Reida do him thing. We see Richard King do him thing. Fans always ask this question. How can this player dominate at his club but look average for the national team? This is one of the biggest reasons why a strong national team fails. And here are the realities. A club train every day. Train together every day. So that's daily chemistry versus a few matches per year. A club builds pattern while national teams try to improvise. When Leon Bailey was on fire at Aston Villa, he was surrounded by players who understands his runs, his pace, his timing. Jamaica doesn't have that same repetition. And do other countries have it? I think they do. Why they have it? Because this is an excuse that Jamaica Football Federation and Rudolph Speid and all those persons use, saying we only have a little bit of time when them come to try to teach them this. But why is it when them come, they must learn this? Why isn't this ingrained from youth football? Why don't we have an identity? Why don't we have something that is there, that they know exactly what is what when them come? Zine, why we can't speak to them while them at them club? Book a forward meeting or a midfielder and forward meeting once a month. Book a forward meeting separately once a month. Book a midfielder meeting once a month. Book a midfielder and defense meeting once a month. Book a wing back and winger meeting. Depending upon where you think your chemistry is not there, depending upon where you think needs help. Football is not only played on the pitch. You can have a meeting with players, show them clips, you do some actual work, put some clips together. Zine, put some clips together, show them, say, oh, this is what to do wrong. We don't want to see this, more want to see this. Can you guys in this group do this? What are the best patterns for us to get this done effectively? Me know say them nah do that, dog. A simple 1 hour Zoom call. Football players have a lot of time, especially during the week, Football, even though them entertain we a lot, as a footballer, it's one of the most boring jobs to have. All you do is train, go home, sleep, watch Netflix if you don't have a business or have no other aspirations to do. Zine, we must can book an hour out of the ball at them time. Another reason why clubs have better structure, better facilities, and better tactical organization. Top clubs have world-class coaching, elite analysis that I just told you guys about, and top training environments. National teams, especially Jamaica, smaller nations, we can't match that. A Jamaica can't give the same tactical detail or professionalism as a Premier League training environment. However, we can try. We can put things in place. We can invest and we can put effort into getting it done. Another reason roles are clearer at football clubs because they're there week in, week out every day. At a club, players know their exact job. At a national team level, it's not always the case, which is why you have to find creative ways to get these players in meetings, to show them and get it ingrained. At least a monthly meeting between different groups, whether it's a midfielder group, come up with something creative, brother, to make sure that the message is being put across where them understand it in them ears consistently. So even if they not see it on the pitch consistently, it in them ears consistently, it in them mind consistently. So when them forward on the pitch in a short amount of time, them already know exactly the fine details of what we are trying to do. So then the training not always have to be about the fine details. It's about practicing those fine details. Not necessarily coaching it, because a lot of these players, they have a diverse skill sets, they have diverse know-how of different formations and how to play in certain ways. It's just a matter of you putting that piece together. And you need a real tactician to do that. You need a man who really love the sport to do that. You need a man who breed football to do that. You need a man who will divorce his wife to make this team national team success to do that. You need a Pep Guardiola mindset, that tactician mindset. You need an Arteta mindset. That is the mindset we want to bring. A man who fuck football. See McLaren of football, brother. See McLaren of business, man. Just come here and on a vacation, my friend. You see me? And when all of these things happen, people, the overall level of the team drops. Premier League teammates versus mixed level national teammates, that affects effectiveness instantly. Imagine you have a Premier League baller, a player with a League One baller. You have Greg Lay, a player with Ethan Pinnock. You have Damian Lowe in our club. Zine, a player with Dexter Lembikisa. A striker who thrives at the club level might receive fewer quality passes or support at international level. That then type of thing they can affect the performance of a striker. Another point, the pressure of representing a country is different. Even though I feel like there's enough pressure, that they pan them ball. Nobody when I ask this suppose happen, but as opposed to other countries, nobody find the ball house, nobody is the ball road. See McLaren mash up World Cup and him get for walk out of the country scotch free, not a bruise, not a busted. Think he could have do that to Brazil? You think Steve McLaren could have one pre-written resignation in case him drop out and go in our Brazil press conference, go read that and come out, and the fans and see that, and he left there in one piece? So even though this is a factor, we still need to feel that this factor is ingrained in Jamaica's footballing culture. Because we don't even have a footballing culture, people. You see me? When club mistakes happen, fans complain, fans protest, fans do a bag of things. When national mistakes happen, Jamaica not do that. But make a Brazil, the whole nation react. You see me? Players have to know so enough depend them ear game, else them get burn up. Coaches know so enough depend them ear game, especially a man like Steve. That was a failure before. You know, have nothing because people don't like it from starting. You can see players as second guess themselves in a qualifiers. But when them they club level, them play naturally at it. Less time, less identity. Club football have repetition, international football have short camps, rush tactics, especially if you're not plan and you're not prepare outside of that international break. We have a national team coach when now go watch players. We have a national team coach and do a recruit instead of converse with players who already have in our setup. We consistently been informed players for familiar players. We consistently been quality players for players that cannot help us in our midfield. Why Jamaica could finish behind Curacao? Why we finished behind Curacao? Curacao was disciplined, well coached, organized, and consistent. They had a nation whenever care if I be a diaspora player and not one local man player. If that means that the nation I will get for go World Cup. Because at the end of the day, you reach a World Cup, you know what I gotta do? It will help everybody. People are going to want to come and say, all right, what kind of local talent to have? More eyes are going to be on Jamaica. Because some good must have here. Jamaica, we have more talent, we have bigger names, we have a higher ceiling, but we have less structure. Football is a very simple sport. A disciplined team beats a disorganized squad full of stars every time. And that's why national teams, especially like Jamaica, with big players, still fail on the big stage. It's not about star power. It's about chemistry, proper coaching, proper structure, proper mentality, and proper preparation. If Jamaica wants the World Cup consistently, wants to be in the World Cup consistently, the foundation must be rebuilt. Talent alone will not carry us. That is it for this video, people. Share your thoughts below in this comment section. Let me know what you guys are thinking about the various points that I made in this video. Remember to like the video, hit that subscribe button. We're on a goal to 6,000 subscribers before the end of this month. So just go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.
Jamaica have a lifeline. How about this?
Big up Gunnaz. I hear like, don't know some of the Gunnaz myself, but big up Gunnaz.